Kwame Brown got some nerve, let me tell you. Kwame Brown decides he wants to make a name for himself in this media industry. I'm not mad at Kwame Brown for wanting to get out here and tell his story and share his truth and be whatever it is that he wants to be. Because Kwame Brown can do whatever the hell he wants to do. But he had one hell of a rollout, didn't he? Wasn't nobody thinking about Kwame Brown. Wasn't nobody talking about Kwame Brown. I mean, you what? Stack and Steven Jackson, Stack and Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, Matt Barnes made a joke about Kwame Brown when talking to Jeannie Buss. Then they made another slick joke while talking to Gilbert Arenas. Guess what, Kwame Brown? You have been a joke your entire NBA life. And I don't mean a joke as a human being, because I don't know you. You may be a great guy, but your name has been attached to jokes for years. I mean, you get Stephen A. Smith going, Kwame Brown, Slava never date Kwame Brown. You know what I mean? Like, that's who you've been in the public eye based on who you were as a basketball player. Do I think people have gone too far on criticizing this man? Absolutely. He had a 10-plus year career in the NBA, and he made a lot of money. So he may not have lived up to your expectations, but he's rich now. He played in the league. I mean, I get it. You see someone 245, 250 pounds, one of the fastest, strongest people on the court. You expect him to turn into a superstar. He get drafted first overall, but guess what? Bust every day. It'd be trust fund kids to end up broke. You know what I'm saying? It's people who who have all the abilities, who have all the opportunities, and sometimes people just mess it up. It's okay. That's life. That's society. But now he wants to get mad about people talking about him, and they've been talking about him forever. And again, you can clap back whenever you want to. That's your right. That's the beauty of the First Amendment that y'all trying to take away from us now. We got to keep our guns, but we got to take away the First Amendment. But anyways, so that's where we're at with Kwame. Kwame decides to clap back. And now he's going in on Steven Jackson, Matt Barnes, Gilbert Arenas. He done got mad at Jamel Hill because she had a comment on it. And guess what, bro? When you talk, the media gets to talk back. That's the media's job, to comment on what's happening in the world. He wants to put her in her place. And I really had an issue with his approach towards Jamel Hill because he's like, hey, don't get in men's business because we men and we talking. And like, well, I'm going to get my auntie or my cousin. I'm like, no, bro. Like, she can say whatever she want to say. You said all that stuff that you were saying. Let her respond. But yeah, he done went after Stephen A., Shannon Sharp, and all of this stuff. And I think that his heart is in the right place. I think that he's attacking mainstream media. He's attacking the mainstream narratives. He's like, hey, man, I don't want these people telling my story. Let me tell it myself, or let me tell it to somebody who I trust. And as somebody who consumes a good portion of mainstream media, some of it because a lot of those people are good at their job. I mean, I don't really like the things that they say, but their ability to say it is absolutely amazing. And then others I think are terrible. But y'all know I've been fighting the fight against the mainstream media here for years now. And especially when it comes to sports, the sports of basketball and football, and you can even say that about baseball, but especially basketball and football. You have two sports that are dominated by African Americans, and there are not many African Americans who get to tell their stories. Don't have many African Americans who get to frame these instances properly for the people. And we need more of that. So Kwame, if you're here to fight against our people being misrepresented, I'm here for that. I support that. That's what I'm here trying to do. Because I hate listening to certain like Kyrie. I'm not the biggest Kyrie guy. I've said things about Kyrie on this podcast based on his actions. But look, I've learned to accept Kyrie and meet him where he's at. Kyrie said words to the effect that, hey, people ain't gonna realize, like, aren't gonna give me and KD respect for what we're doing here in Brooklyn, because what we did is we created an environment that allowed us to be ourselves on and off the court. Paraphrasing. And the way that the media took that headline and ran with it was like, y'all haven't won anything. What makes you think that people are going to recognize what you're doing? Bruh. We're not talking about on the basketball court. I mean, because they're looking like one of the best offensive teams in NBA history. We'll see where that goes. But Kyrie is talking about being in a place that allows him to be himself, allows him to take time off, because he's like, hey, bro, it's too much going on in the world. I don't need to be here. Let me get my energy right. And a lot of us are tied to the, well, we got to wake up, we got to go to work. And it's like, well, hold on, what if I'm not feeling right? Why do I have to go to work? Why do I care more about this organization than I care about my own self? Like, I'm going to hemorrhage myself to keep another organization alive that's going to eventually replace me? But no, when Kyrie says that, we're not hearing that. The basketball player is talking about basketball. No, bro, he's talking about things bigger than basketball. He's talking about things bigger than what we talk about day to day. And don't get me wrong, bro, I'm not just super enlightened individual, but I understand that the idea that we work our entire lives and we stop to enjoy it when we're too old to enjoy things is nuts. I mean, I'm obviously conforming to it because I go to work every day, but my end state is to be able to retire at a young age and do what I want to do with my life and not work. Because see, here's the thing. People get bothered by being called a worker, and there's nothing wrong with being a worker. But you can't have a worker's mindset all the time. You have to understand that the people that you are working for are looking out for their self-interest. And if you want to be in a position to look out for your self-interest, just like we talked about earlier, man, you have to have the money to be able to do it. And yeah, your boss can never come in, and if he has a good staff, the company works just fine. Or if he decides, you know, I want to step away, I'm going to just take my severance package and go, or I'm going to sell and I'm just going to go. He can do that. And what Kyrie is saying is like, look, bro, I want to have freedom. And y'all have not came up with a rational reason for me not to be able to have my freedom. And I'm in the top 15 people in the world at what I do. What do you mean I can't take a personal day because my mental health ain't right? What do you mean I can't take a week off because I don't feel good? What? What are you going to do? You're going to fire me? You're going to replace me? No, you're not. If you let me go, I'm going to get picked up by someone else and they're going to pay me the same thing. So like, I'm not going to lose sleep over that. So as much as sometimes the things that Kyrie does bothers me, because I understand where he's coming from, and I like what he's trying to build, a place that you can be yourself. And now, don't get me wrong, I think there should be consequences when you are yourself, but a place that people can freely move and operate around, be who they are. Like, if he want to burn some sage in the arena before the game, let him burn some sage. Let him do it. Who's the bother? If he wants to take a personal day, let him take a personal day. We load manage when we want to. We sit players when we want to. But back to Kwame Brown. Like I said, I think his heart's in the right place, fighting the mainstream media. But he started talking about these black men tearing down other black men. Now, I'm all about supporting and uplifting our people, but I'm also about calling a spade a spade. I think it's very important for us to tell the truth when we're discussing our people. I'm not going to come on this podcast and just trash black people for no reason, because I love black people. Hell, I'm not going to come on this podcast and just trash anybody for no reason. But if you display behavior that deserves to be criticized, I owe it to myself. I owe it to you, the individual. Hopefully you hear it. And I owe it to my loyal supporters to tell the truth. Y'all deserve to hear how I feel about some stuff. And I think if you do some foul shit, I should be able to call it out. Well, no, man, he black, bro. You can't. I won't see. We can't call. We can't do no. What do you mean? If I don't criticize bad actions or actions I disagree with by other people, specifically black people, how can they learn? How can they find out that what they think or what they're doing is unacceptable? Or how can I learn by calling them out and then them responding to me and say, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Here's what I was doing or what I was trying to do. And I go, oh, okay, that makes sense. Now we've had a conversation. But people don't want to talk to each other. They want to talk at each other. They want to tweet at each other. They want to do lives and no conversation. Bro, you got to talk. You got to listen. You got to take things in order to progress. So does it seem like the media as a whole attacks black people? Yes. Sports media, yes. There's a basketball topic that I really want to do, and I don't know if I'm going to do it, but when I hear a lot of the Luka hype, where I hear a lot of the Joker hype, I go, are we forcing this? Are we forcing them, into the headlines? Like we put Luka here. We want to put Luka above Kyrie, but is it because Luka's actually better than Kyrie? Is it because Luka's accomplished more than Kyrie, or is it because we like the idea of Luka more than we like the idea of Kyrie? I'm just asking a question. Because statistically, Luka is James Harden light with less accomplishments, but we like Luka more than we like James Harden too. What? Come on now. Not me. That's them. So, Kwame, here's the thing though. If you want to get mad at black men for tearing down black men, you can't tear down black men. You can't come out here and talk about beating people up, cussing them out, N-word this, MF that, all of this. Like, what are you doing? Well, hold on. I ain't gonna tell you how to talk. You can say whatever the hell you want to say. But you have to understand what comes with that. You're a grown man, older than me, much older than me. Hell, I like that you're trying to shake things up, but I think it's petty. That I think it's trash. I think it's disgusting. It's nasty that you're gonna come out here and say all this wild, outlandish things just to bring attention to yourself in order to build your platform. You come off as a clout chaser to me. So now I don't even know if I want to support your platform because I feel like it's not authentic. You sound like the kid who used to get beat up all the time. So you went in the gym and you got super swole. So you're like, yeah, bro, what's that shit y'all saying now? Bro, ain't nobody trying to fight you. We got kids. We got priorities, bro. We got to go to work in the morning. Ain't nobody trying to deal with that. You seem like the person who was never embraced, and you build up so much animosity towards those people that now you're finally fed up and you're letting it out. Like, one of my biggest criticisms of DJ Academics is he's one of those people who, yeah, he's great at what he does, but you can tell he was a lame. You can tell he was the person who got shitted on his whole life, and now that he gonna throw it in everybody's face. Why? Because he's not comfortable in his skin, and he needs his accomplishments to validate who he is to all the people who never took him seriously. And now, Kwame Brown, you want to question people's manhoods. You want to question their lifestyles, talking about Steven Jackson is less of a man because he ain't got no tractor and maybe he ain't got no land and he wears form-fitting clothes. And like, bruh, stop that, man. Don't come out here and try to preach at us, preach at other people, and talk about they're the voice of the white man. They're out here trying they're out here turning black people against one another. If you're gonna do the exact same thing, bro, be consistent. I'll sit here and criticize you all day long. I will. I have no problem criticizing you. But I'm not going to shit on your character. I'm not going to use fighting words towards you because I want you to cook. I want you to be great. I want you to find what it is that you're out here looking for. But I want you to practice what you preach. As somebody who consumes great media, I love to consume great black media. I want to consume more good black media, but bruh, I can't trust you. And what I look for in the media members who I listen to is trust. I want to trust that what they're saying, they believe. I want to trust that the person that they are on the microphone is very much like the person they are off the microphone. And sometimes, yeah, we can see through takes and know that people are saying stuff to get clicks. But if you're that person, lean into being that person. Because we have to watch out for these prophets, these people who come here trying to tell us what we need to do to get right, but they have done nothing to get right. They are condemning us for living the life that they're living. Kwame Brown is church folks. You hear me? The people in the church, the Pharisees, them folks. Yeah. From Bible time, the Pharisees, but today not common church folks. Oh my God, him in them dirty clothes. What are you doing here? This is God's house. Man, Jesus was hanging out with the bums. Jesus was a man of the streets, man. Come on now. He hung out with hookers and thieves. Oh, I would never do that, boy. I am so close to God that I can't. Oh, I can't go down them folks on the devil. Excuse me. What you said now? Did you study the same Jesus that I know? Or are you studying a Jesus that you made up? Back to people. You can't tell me who I am. You can't tell me who Jesus is, even though it's in the Bible. I mean, I ain't really read it. I mean, I listened to some of it, but I ain't read a lot of it. No, I ain't read a lot of it. I just do what I know. I think Jesus gonna be this way because in my head, this is how Jesus is, not based on the accounts of him. And don't get me wrong, like we distrust media now, so for all we know, the Bible's made up 200 years ago. I don't believe that. Do I think there is a human aspect of the Bible that is, if you take everything literally, you're going to go crazy? Yes, I do think that. But the overall messaging of the Bible is nobody's better than anybody else, no matter what their accomplishments are. Jesus hung out with fishermen. You know what I'm saying? He hung out. He had a little tax collector. You know what I mean? Little money man. He hung out with people from different walks of life, but yet the people who are supposed to be the finest representatives of that do the exact opposite. They are actually act like the people that Jesus had the most smoke with, according to the Bible. Kwame Brown, I feel you having an issue with what's going on in media, mainstream media. I have an issue with it too. But don't think people can't call you out for being black just because you're black. Excuse me. They can't call you out for being black. That's messed up. But don't think people can't call you out just because they're black and you're black. Bro, don't think that. Don't tell me not to do something and do it while telling me not to do it. Because of somebody who's hearing that, like, bro, fuck you, bro. What are you talking about? Who are you? Come on, man. That ain't it. And lastly, bro, don't do it for clout. Do it because you care. Because we can see through the clout chasers, man. And death to the clout chasers. Oh, man. Where are we at now, man? Is there anything else I want to do?